cookies. It was wonderful, and the goyim, and not all the goyim, but some of them they found I was the only Jew in the barracks. They would get dead mice and put them in my bed.
You never told me that.
You never asked, but it was part of growing up. Maybe it happened twice in 8 weeks, but the interesting thing about it is, you want to hear something funny, Jason? Do you ever hear of a thing called KP? It stands for kitchen police. Okay. People who work in the kitchen in the army. So they took turns. Everybody else would have to get up at 6 in the morning. You'd have to get up at 4 in the morning to be in the kitchen. You had to, if you were, it was your turn, you had to put a white towel. You have to towel it over your bunk, so that when they came to get you, they know who to wake up earlier. Okay.
Did you put it on other people's?
No, it wasn't like a gag. It was, you learned you got to make sure not to go to bed until someone else is asleep, and you move it around. And they didn't care. They didn't want to hear if you said to them in the morning, "It's not my turn." They say, "Get the fuck out of bed." That kind of thing. All right. So after that, everybody takes the same basic. Because I was college educated, they made me a medic. So I had to go to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, for 10 weeks to learn how to be a medic. And that's where I got busted. And busted by the military police.
For what?
You never heard this story?
No.
It's actually a cute story. I'm very proud of it. So when you graduate basic training, everybody goes from the lowest thing, which is an E3, to obviously E1. You go to enlisted men 1 to enlisted men 2. Then when you get out of basic, when you get out of your second 10 weeks, there's 10 weeks with your degree in medics, everybody becomes an E3. So you go to your medical training, and at the end of the first week they give you a test, and they pull me aside after the second week, and they say, "Look we have people that flunk the test, and they have to be tutored during a week. You can get out of your KP. Everybody's doing KP once a week. If you give them an hour of tutoring on Tuesdays and Thursdays." So I said, "I'd much rather do that, of course." Plus, in my company is 300 people, there were only 3 college graduates. I was one of them. And the other 2, and don't be offended by this, Jason, the other 2 were Jewish. Okay. So anyway, and I'm still friends with them on Facebook. Yeah, I'm friends with them on Facebook to this day. One's from New York, and one's from Baltimore.
How did you end up at the Army? Did you get recruited?
No, I volunteered. It was either that or get drafted when I got out of college.
That's what I mean, okay.
So anyway, I had a low lottery.
Were you scared to get drafted?
Did you hear the story how my father didn't talk to my brother for a week? There's so much you don't know. Because my father, when I went away to reserves, my father told him to take a year off of college and go with me. I shouldn't go alone. My brother said, "Are you crazy?" Because they'd ended the draft in the meantime, for his class. There's no draft anymore. My father said, "It's your brother." My brother said, I'm not taking a year off of college. And my father got mad. He sulked and didn't talk to him. Anyway, let me just finish this story. So I don't remember if it was 1, 2, or it was either 2 or 3 times I'm tutoring them on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's the same 2 schmuck. I can still remember the names, Sims and Willingham. And I said to them, somewhere along the way, early on, I said, "Guys, you don't want to be here and I don't want to be here. Let's just say we're here. Don't tell anybody."
Oh, boy.
Okay? And no one says a word. And that's it. 300 people in the company. There's like 10 barracks, or maybe 8. I don't know how many. I never see these people. So anyway, we're standing in line. Though I'll never forget this ever. May 12th of 1972. We're waiting in line for your last paycheck. We're going to have graduation ceremonies that afternoon. And the graduation ceremonies, Jason, very like that graduation parade they have in Stripes toward the end. And then there's an indoor ceremony. It's exactly what it is. But I saw Stripes 10 years later. Right. So I'm standing in line. It's a line. I hate to say this. You can picture the Oval at Ohio State. The line like zigzags through the oval like that, and I'm not exaggerating it. There are 150 people in line, and you're waiting. Everybody, you don't care how long you wait. Everybody's in line. We're getting their picture. We're leaving. I was flying Braniff Airlines through Chicago to come, and the MPs pull me out of line. Oh no! I scared shitless, and they take me into CQ, it sounds for company quarters, and they start screaming at me. "We know what you've been doing, and it's this, and your name's gonna be up at in the posters in Cleveland." And you think, all I'm thinking is, I wasn't thinking in terms of jail. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was thinking, I'm not going home. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I wanted, by that, by the way, I wanted to get Sherry back. We had broken up, and that was my biggest concern. Right. So, and I'm crying. And the guy says to me, "You're supposed to be going home in E3. You know what? We're busting you down to buck private. You're an embarrassment to your entire company. Now get out of here. And I realized I'm still going home. I'm just going home at a lower grade. So I went back. So obviously I go back to my friends. I'm a hero.
So did you get?
Wait a second. So they make me an E1, and I get a lower paycheck. Here's the punchline. I swear on my father's grave, I am not making this up. We're in the graduation ceremonies. After the parade, we're in this like movie theater, and they're saying we want to thank Commandant this there, and now we want to congratulate the 10 class tutors. And they didn't pull my name off the list. Pulled me up on stage, and I got her certificate. And some schmuck shook my hand.
You still have that certificate?
Absolutely. So wait a second. So I fly home. Actually, it was an interesting day. My plane got bumped for some reason. I don't know why, but bad, whatever. I had to fly into Cincinnati, and Harold, Bogart, and Margie and Sherry drove down and picked me up. Come back to Columbus. Your mother and I get re-engaged over the summer. We get married that December.
Yada, yada, yada.
3 months later, I'm going to meetings again in Cleveland, right? I got to go to my meetings. And I'll never forget, Major Robinette calls me in. He says, there seems to be an error here. They've got you as an E1.
Okay.
He says, by now you should be an E4 with everyone else because it's a half year after return. He goes, I'll take care of that. Maybe, I don't know if it's 2 months or 8 months later, get a check in the mail for $800 retro pay.
Wow.
Your mother, I thought that was her first orgasm in the age of 73, I think. I said, that was a lot of money then. You get $800 out of nowhere. My retro pay, yeah.